The UL Ragin Cajuns are gearing up for their Vermillion White Spring Game on Saturday, April 9th at 11 a.m. at Cajun Field. And I'm joined here today by Chandler Fields, quarterback for the UL Ragin Cajuns. Chandler, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. And there's a lot we got to talk about. Before we go ahead and step into the new year, we want to reflect on last year because that was a really good year for Ragin Cajun football. So put everything into perspective for me from a player's point of view. You know, the 13-1 season, Sun Belt Championship, and the New Orleans Bowl all in one. How validating was that for you and the rest of the team?
Well, I think the whole team was just really excited about how our year went. I think the 13-1 season was great, but really our biggest goal last year was having the Sun Belt Conference Championship at home and obviously securing that. So that was a huge win. And then in the postseason, going to the New Orleans Bowl, Coach Dez's first game, it was really important for us as players to get our first win with Coach Dez in the New Orleans Bowl.
Of course, and Coach Dez, he's gearing up for that season this year, first year, you know, completely at the helm for the Ragin Cajuns. But let's talk about Billy Napier for a second. You know, he had a vital part in getting the program to where it is now, and so many different games where, you know, we felt like we might have been out of it, and the team, they fight back and they put up a great performance in order to win. So was there any stories, whether that be, you know, a game, a practice, or a moment in time where you can just remember that you realized how good of a coach Billy Napier was?
Well, I think as a coach for Billy Napier, he made every practice at least 10 times harder than a game was. So every practice we go through certain situations, like at random points in practice, like he'll be like, oh, we're going to run 2 minute here, or we're going to run red zone or gold zone, which is like goal line and stuff like that. So, I mean, we were always prepared in the game when the time came. So, I mean, he prepared us to the ultimate level, and it showed on the field every week.
We had a lot of really great talent this past year for the team that, you know, they're not on the roster anymore. Guys like Levi Lewis, you know, you got to learn a lot under Levi Lewis, and it's gearing you up to compete for the starting job this year. So what lessons did Levi pass down to you that, you know, you're going to take with you and bring to the rest of this competition throughout the rest of spring?
Well, I think Levi showed an extreme amount of confidence, consistency, and he was very persistent in what he did. So each and every day we'd watch film together, you know, learn the offense, learn the opponent. So, I mean, he's given me a lot of different things that I can further on to other QBs that are younger or older than me. And I think he set a great foundation for the QB room.
Let's talk about the spring, man. You know, a lot of really big expectations this year based off all the results that came from last year. How do you think the team has, you know, responded to everything Coach Dez had to say early on and everything that this new coaching staff has to offer for the team?
I think Coach Dez and his staff, they're men of their word, and they're players' coaches. They take care of us. So it's been a lot different for us as players. Well, not really much different, but just the way he's treated us is like grown-ups. He lets us do what we can do, and he puts discipline on us when we need it. And I think he just has confidence in us, and we have confidence in him, and that's all you can really ask for as a player.
You have a lot of really big games coming up this year. You know, you have the New Orleans Bowl rematch against Marshall this year. You also have a game on the road at Rice, and you also have a game against Florida State. And I know we talked last year about how much that Texas game was important to y'all, the only blemish on the record for last year. So how do y'all go into this season with a different mindset, looking to eliminate all the errors that come in a big environment like an FSU or a Texas and produce those wins on the road?
Well, I think we just got to take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time. Don't get ahead of ourselves. So whatever game's first, that's the game we're going to play first. You don't look forward, you don't look ahead. So I think it's just believing in yourself, believing in your teammates, and just having confidence in each other, and that'll take care of the rest.
Personally for you, where do you feel like you can help this team grow in 2022, but also what are some expectations you have for yourself in this season?
Well, I'm extremely confident in our offense. I'm extremely confident in our coaches and our defense. So it's just having confidence in myself and going out there and making plays. And that's what I've always done my whole life, so I'm not going to change anything now.
Who do you see either on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball making a major impact early on in the season?
Well, we have a lot of playmakers on both sides of the ball, so I mean, you can really say anybody, MJ, John, anyone really, Chris Smith. We have some really young backs that are really good, young wide receivers that are ready to prove themselves as well. And on the defensive side, I mean, you always got Braylon Trahan, you got Zion Hill, you got Dre Jones, you got so many players that can make plays. I mean, it's just whatever ball comes their way, they're going to make the play for us.
the spring, it seems like it's always a grind for these players. And, to cap it all off, you have that Vermillion White game. It's something that all the players look forward to the entire spring. How excited are you to get back in front of Cajun Nation and, put your talents on display leading up into the actual season, starting off against Southeastern at home?
I think it's extremely important because right now we're setting our foundation, our identity for who we are in the season. So in the spring game, we get to showcase a little bit of who we are, and it's against each other, so it's always great to have some friendly competition. So it's going to be fun.
So let's talk about the league. I mean,
Yeah.
Everything's been crazy this offseason, so much to talk about. But, you have guys that had really great seasons last year that are coming from similar environments. I know that Jamar Chase was one of your prized weapons back when you were a Rummel Raider, and he went on to take home the Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL. And then Elijah Mitchell, 49ers running back, he absolutely bursted onto the scene this year, and what it looks like is took a hold of the starting job out in San Francisco. How inspiring is it for a guy like you to see those type of guys have success so early on in the NFL, and how much harder does it make you want to work in order to get there yourself?
Well, it's extremely motivating knowing that Jamar came from my high school. I saw him play in high school, and he was doing the same exact things that he's doing in the league that he was doing in high school. He was messing over guys left and right in high school, and he did it in college, and he did it in the league. Then you look at Elijah Mitchell, extremely humble guy, and in college nobody could touch him, and then he goes to the league, and it's basically the same way. So they're extremely motivating to me. I know they're extremely motivating to the players in the locker room, so I just hope the best for them.
So coming from you, are the memes right? Is Jamar down there somewhere whenever you have to, throw that ball up?
100%.
Always reliable?
Always.
All right, awesome. So last thing, what do you want to say to all the fans that are thinking about coming out to the spring game, but they're still on the fence about it? Like they don't know whether or not they want to take the time out of their day to go.
Look, it's going to be a beautiful Saturday. We already know it. It's Louisiana. It's going to be nice. And why wouldn't you come? I mean, it's a local school, local college, top 25 team in the nation, brand new coaching Coach Dez, and a bunch of young talent. So why wouldn't you come out?
All right, well, the spring game, April 9th at Cajun Field, Vermillion White game. You go and catch Chandler Fields, Zion Hill, and the rest of the UL Ragin Cajun football team. Chandler, thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate
man.
you.
Yeah.